So the drama seems to be clearing up, and it looks like the crooked Chicago Bears are likely to take USC quarterback Caleb Williams at #1 overall. They're going to ruin him, and then the Vikings can pick him up as a free agent in 4 years. Who knows? Who knows, man? But the absolute brain trust of Eberflus, a.k.a. the IKEA toilet, and Ryan Poles, who, hey, you guys are doing a great job taking back the division and never giving it back. Good times, man. The question is, now what are they going to do with incumbent starting quarterback Justin Fields? Now, it's important to note that Justin Fields was not drafted by the current regime. He was drafted by Ryan Pace, not Ryan Poles and company. But either way, like Justin Fields, he's been uneven. The potential is there. He's still young, and you could see why a lot of teams will be interested in the whole "mama, I can change him" perspective. Of course, with the Vikings potentially looking for a future franchise quarterback, should they entertain acquiring Justin Fields from the crooked Chicago Bears? And initially I was thinking, no, it's never going to happen. But what's interesting is that Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, just sort of like buried the lead a little bit, just sort of put that out there. So this from his piece on ESPN yesterday. What's happening with the potential Justin Fields trade? Fowler, the major quarterback domino that many are waiting to fall is Chicago's Justin Fields decision. Chicago has not played its hand, and several league sources believe Fields, who has not requested a trade, could probably garner a day 2 pick in a potential deal. There's no firm deadline on a trade, though the start of free agency is sort of a soft one. Chicago will need multiple teams in the fray to drive a market, and after asking around, I expect Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, and Minnesota to be on Fields' radar. So, ask around the combine, decision makers, scouts, executives, what their feeling is, just taking the temperature of the league rectally. Atlanta makes sense. Of course, he's from Georgia, and I think that with those young weapons, they could grow and show together. Pittsburgh, it seems like they're a quarterback away. I'm not sold on them running it back with Kenny Pickett. Vegas, they're going to cut Jimmy G. Aiden O'Connell is whatever, and they do pick 13, so that may be out of the range of the Big Four, potentially even out of the Big Five. But what's interesting is that, Poles, to his credit, at the Combine was saying that if they were going to trade Justin Fields, which they're likely going to do, they would like to do it before free agency because that would be fair to Justin, right? So he'd be able to find a chair before musical chairs really ramps up. Also, I think doing it before free agency, they would maximize their draft, their leverage to get as many draft picks as possible, or as high of a draft pick as possible. Now, what's interesting is that I don't think that this is tossed in there all willy-nilly. I don't think it's just one source just popping off at the mouth. So this has to have been talked about because Fowler is a big J journalist. So this had to have been talked about by a couple of sources. So that is interesting for a couple of reasons. Because, of course, it harkens back to 2021. Oh, the Vikings tried to trade up to #8 for Justin Fields, but the Bears got him. Ho, 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 ho. So what happens is that one of the team videos of the Panthers got the Vikings pretty Ricky Spielman calling their then GM David Fritterer, Scott Fritterer. Either way, you're fired. Asking about the price for trading up to the #8 overall pick. Why am I still on the phone? But what it comes down to is that I'm sure Spielman called every single pick, starting up at the top, because if he wasn't doing that, he's not doing his job. And if the Vikings were interested in trading up to 8, I think they're in the business of getting J.C. Horn. But also, if the Vikings wanted to trade up for Justin Fields, they had the draft ammunition. They certainly could have gone and done it, but they didn't. And the Bears traded up with the Giants, and then they took Fields. And yeah, we Vikings fans are really regretting it. Great. But that was the year the Vikings were at 14. They traded down and got Darisaw at 23. One of the better maneuvers for pretty Ricky Spielman and Fields. So Fields has had moments of brilliance and also just moments of just whatever. And it has been on the Bears because they haven't surrounded him with a good offensive line. They haven't really gotten him weapons, although they did get DJ Moore this year in that trade with the Panthers. And this year his stats were quite pedestrian. Like he didn't throw. He wasn't the first Bears 4,000 yards passer like he claimed that he would be. He did rush for 1,100 plus yards last year, but the offense this year with Getsy, they really neutered what he could do in the running game, which is really kind of stupid because that's the best part of his game. Now, also, he hasn't been good since he had quality protection back at the Ohio State with Wyatt Davis. I really thought Wyatt Davis was going to be something, and so did you. But there's a couple reasons why. Well, there's a couple reasons why the Vikings and Fields may not work out. So the number one thing that Kevin O'Connell stresses is accuracy, processing and accuracy. And with Fields, it's been a little bit spotty. And he's made some big-time plays. Sure, he has a big-time arm. Mobility is a plus. Kwesi did mention mobility too. But do you see Fields fitting in with the under-center, play-action-based West Coast offense that Kevin O'Connell brings? Or is Justin Fields better suited in the shotgun, spreading it out, running an air raid type system, and also using his legs? I would say the latter. But the whole thing about it is that I don't think that the Bears would trade Fields in division. Just on the off chance that he becomes a little something, because then the Bears have to live with, oh, you trade the Vikings, their franchise quarterback, and then if Caleb Williams busts, which, I mean, in Chicago it's an above average chance, that would just be that would be the Herschel Walker moment. And frankly, they deserve it, because screw him. Also, Justin Fields is on his rookie deal, but he's heading into year 4, wanting some more. The team, whoever has Fields, has the option to pick up his 5th-year option, which is fully guaranteed now, by the way. So I actually don't see a team doing that, because it would be $25.6 million and change. And the entire benefit of having your starting quarterback on his rookie deal is being able to build around him while he's on those cheaper years. But, I mean, Fields already exhausted those cheaper years, and, I mean, it's probably in a situation like Jordan Love where the Packers didn't necessarily pick up his 5th-year option, but they gave him like a split the difference type deal. Now they're probably going to have to pay him like $55 million a year. So this is a bit of a moot point too. Also, I do think that, so the notion that the Bears are going to get a first-round pick for Fields, I think that's delusional. I don't think that's going to happen at all, because if you look, I mean, teams that could trade for Fields, Falcons, they're not trading 8. The Steelers probably aren't trading 20. And the Raiders certainly aren't trading 13. So that's ridiculous. But if it is a second-round pick, I mean, the Vikings are pretty high at 42. But the Vikings, if they give up that 42, then they don't pick it all on day 2, because they don't have a 3rd-round pick because of the Hockenson trade. They also have that 7th-round pick back from Arizona because Dobbs didn't hit those incentives, but it's not on there. But either way, I think the Bears would have to tax that ass with it being in division, so you'd have to pay a premium, and Vikings would not be trading number 11 for Justin Fields. I think that's ridiculous. I think that would be a fireable offense to Kwesi, because Justin Fields is a rehab project. He is a mama I can change him situation, which Kwesi loves, but also he's not going to. He's just not going to give up the farm. Like he didn't give up a ton in the Hockenson trade in the grand scheme of things. He didn't give up a ton, certainly in the Rager trade or the Ross Blacklock trade. So he likes his projects, but he's not going to get crazy about it. So I really don't see the the Vikings entering a bidding war for Justin Fields. I just don't see it right now. But imagine if it does happen. Now, all right, so say Fields gets traded to whatever team, they don't pick up his 5th-year option, he's whatever, and then he becomes a free agent next year. Then we could talk. Then we could have a conversation if the Vikings don't have their future franchise quarterback in place, which I hope they do. But yeah, I would just love to see it where Justin Fields was a hot and cold failure in Chicago, and Caleb Williams busts, and then Fields pulls a Jim Plunkett and wins a dozen Jerome Bardys with the Vikings. It'd just be beautiful, man. It'd just be beautiful. But, the Bears are stupid. I don't think they're quite that stupid. Or maybe I don't give them enough credit. Who really knows, man? Who knows? But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings are listed as an option for Justin Fields. Nah. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.